Global greetings, everyone. Let's give a minute for others to get settled down. Meanwhile, others settle down themselves. How about we calling this as a retail e-commerce therapy, where we talk about fixing the headphones or quality issues we face in e-commerce? No? Yes? Yes, this isn't about returning that pair of shoes you bought online last week. This is about how e-commerce companies are racing to deliver faster, smarter, and to provide better experience to customers while juggling thousands of challenges behind. By the way, my name is Ajay Vishamban, a quality thought leader with 2+ decades of experience solving real problems in quality engineering, especially on system engineering, cloud, and AI. Joining me today, Jinsi, Senior Director for Product and Program Management at L&T Mindtree, a man who more seasoned quality engineering practitioner specializing in retail and packaged good industry. Jinsi, a warm welcome, and I'm privileged to share a space with you as part of this fireside chat. May I request a short introduction from your side, Jinsi?
Thanks, Ajesh. Great to be here. I'm sure this is going to be a wonderful experience. Sharing my experience, looking at where quality is coming from, where quality is heading to. I think it's going to be a good discussion. So thank you for bringing me here. As you said, I've been in the industry for over 2.5 decades. Uh, Seen testing all the way from the quality assurance, I'll talk about it a little later, to all the way where we are and the future of quality where we are heading to.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jinsi. It was short and sweet. Few housekeeping items. Today's session will run for 60 minutes, and the session is being recorded. All participants will be muted. The recording will be made available to everybody and dedicated. There is a session for Q&A, and even you can use Zoom Q&A app wherein post your questions there. Okay, so now to get into the topic, today I'm sure end of this session you'll have minimal takeaway on these particular challenges and how strategies can be adapted. And there is a deep side insight and experience what Jimsy is going to share from his world of retail and e-commerce. And we'll also look into the best practices on testing, left shift. Then what more? There are more we will be able to hear, and how AI is also shaping up in improving the quality in testing. So that is what we are going to discuss through in today's sessions with Jimsy. And so, shall we begin, Jimsy?
Sure, let's go.
All right. So I think, see, what I see always for e-commerce, everything need to be done for a kickoff moment, right? So then what are the common challenges you as in a leader face in quality industry as such that you find or keep you always on toes? What are the challenges? Would you be able to share some of your challenges faced?
I would, but before I get there, I'll probably take you through an incident that I remember, which was long back. You've seen testing in the e-commerce space or in the retail space. We started off with calling ourselves as test engineers, right? It was quality assurance subsequently. And then we moved on. We started looking at how quality assurance can come into quality engineering. And subsequently, now we are in trying to see where quality acceleration is. What is it that we can do as part of quality acceleration? And the future that we are headed is into predictive intelligence and predictive quality. Now, that's where we are heading. And to start with, I remember pretty long time back, so 10, 15 years back, I was called into a meeting where they came back and said, as part of this production deployment, the business user is not able to see a particular feature that they had requested for. I was kind of being one of the test leads, kind of a little panicked, looked at what this feature is. I didn't see it in my suit. I went back, checked if that was in the UAT, but not in the prod, and it wasn't in UAT either. Subsequently, we realized that user story that the customer said was critical was not factored in the build. Neither the development team saw it, nor the tester saw it, nor the UAT user saw it. So what I would like to underline is, despite having a good testing team, if the communication and the coordination between the group is not solid, we lose many things, because in those days it was manual testing. Today we are at a stage where we have the different aspects of quality engineering and quality testing, where there's a lot of tools and other things that come in. Does that chime something in you?
Definitely, definitely. That's I mean, if you look back, that's a way where we were doing testing, and things have changed drastically. And even I would be interested to know how did what are the strategies now we adopt to solve these kind of challenges and all.
See, when we faced that issue, what we went ahead and looked at was, what are the quality processes that we had. The first thing that we could change was more in terms of the different processes that we could look at. Okay, we created the stage gates, we created tools, we created frameworks. So in today's world, if you look at the overall challenges, that if I were to outline, not everything but few, more than challenges, I would say, what are the things that we need to focus on so that it addresses some of the challenges which are going to be obvious. Okay, uh, there are things like, today's world is not like earlier, where we had examples of people going into the store, looking at something, purchasing, but it's all been on the online services. There were ages and periods when we look at one channel on a browser, on another browser, on another device, all would look different. Today, there is a plethora of browsers, plethora of devices, and the user, when we look at the users, they come in, we wanted to give that personalized experience to users, and we also wanted to give that omni-channel experience, because user experience is what is driving today's e-commerce or market, because we want to see how we can give personalized experience so that people come back to us, look at that site, get committed, have a bond with the product, with the brand. That's what is the world today, right? So omni-channel experience is something very important. The reason is having a consistent functionality across the different channels that we see across. Say there could be mobile apps, websites, in-store systems. There could be uh, the applications that are deployed on the devices. So all of those to give a unified feel or view. They know. And again, there's another thing which again organization look at is, a organization could have multiple brands. Now, when you look at the brand websites, again, a consistency, knowing that this is, I'm not taking any brands here, but if I take a brand A and they have multiple, I mean, a company A and multiple brands, they wanted to have a unified look. You see many of the sites in many of the brands having that unified feel. The customer feels we are there. Now, what does that bring in? The multi-browser capability, multi-device capability. So you need to run these tests. And in today's world, when we look at the ability to test, there are again numerous tools that provides these capabilities. And of course, you also provide capabilities in there is a race. You can probably talk about that going forward. But then these challenges, these experiences of how do we make sure that we have one test suite which, when executed, covers different operating systems, covers the uh, devices, the browsers, the various channels through which the clients can reach out to their customers or to their brands. So that's something that would be the second aspect would I would touch upon is, especially we look at automation as one solution is going to solve everything. But again, a catch with automation is, the automation is as good as would be as good as it is given the uh, application data that we have, the test data that we need to manage. If you have an automation suite which you cannot execute because the test management or the test data is not managed, or the product category is not set. There's a lot of different aspects. So we need to look at how can I do my test data management in the first place. Are there any TDM tools that I can use? Are there any accelerators that the vendors are providing which can be used for managing the test data? Then I can run my automation suite. After the automation suite exits, you would still look at various challenges. Sometimes my script might execute when I run it first time. Second time I come in, there are changes. So the system may not recognize it could fail. The challenge that I, as a user, had experienced some time back before the new tools and technologies came in is I had to come in, see, oh, my overnight run has crashed or stopped because some things changed. Now, sit and manually run it or rerun it, fix that, run it. It was tedious. Today's world, because of the speed, we don't have space for all of that. We are looking at tools. We are looking at AI, Gen AI, self-healing, a lot of things that comes in. We could probably discuss on that. I know I would have probably gone a little more than what you asked for, but this is my view from a practitioner's point of view.
Absolutely, you said it, Jim. See, basically, even my experience, the first thing which you talked about in terms of that say giving say experience to everybody. I think there is a concept called McDonald effect. Wherever you go in McDonald, you'll get the burger and all the same taste. That is something which is always there. And similarly, the next topic which you said in terms of automation and scaling, that is absolutely true. And this is a bigger challenge. We all face it. And what everybody want in this particular, we always look at Insta world, right? We need Instamart. We have Instagram. Everything is in a spin of click of moment. You want to get it done. Similarly, now, how do you actually now? Well, for our deliverable also, we wanted to reduce that cycle time from our particular feature to market. That also we wanted to reduce it. Absolutely, you said it. We can handle that with the right automation and all those things in place, and making sure cross device, cross browser testing, if that can all parallelly happen, so absolutely we can nail it down and we can reduce the cycle time. Absolutely, it's true. And one other always thought process which bothers me again, how did in e-commerce, probably when big million days and all those sale happens, right? Then there's a lot of changes happen on the existing comment. Then how do you guys adapt to those kind of challenges? And it would be a nightmare for your quality or a testing team to evaluate and do the same validations across. So what is the approaches you normally take it here?
Yeah, see, one in terms of the automation suits, the scripts that we look at, we need to ensure that we have something which is intelligent automation where we bring in self-healing, where because of the changes in the object's properties or because of a specific flow where some buttons have renamed itself or realigned itself, there could be changes and automation might not be able to find it. So in such cases, if you have self-healing, which is more of a AI-driven knowledge that it bases on, it identifies and says the same button has got its property lightly changed. I can replace that. Go ahead and click it and continue with the execution. So that's one way of looking at if the fields have changed or there's a redesign. How does it handle that? The second thing is when we look at since you called out the peak season. Now, in the peak season or the times of holiday, there will be lots of traffic that comes in. There could be numerous products that has to be maintained. There has to be lots of response time that we need to capture, right? So performance engineering or chaos engineering and resilience is something that plays a very big factor. Now, what do we do? Is more from the non-functional aspect. The application functionality, we did discuss that we have to make sure that all of that is working. If there is any changes, quick fixes on the script, look at it, make sure that it runs, you have a clean run, functionality is working. You have a stable application, you have the test data managed, and then you get the crowd, the team that logs in, the user volume that comes in. We need to focus on all of that. And with performance engineering, chaos engineering, that's a huge topic to discuss in this 1 hour session. But then there's a lot that we need to focus on performance engineering. We do a lot of resilience tests. We got do chaos engineering, where we look at how we can actually make the application more faster, more reliable, and stable. There are cases where we as an organization, the products that we have done recently in the last Thanksgiving sales and the holiday season sales, we have ensured huge. We got applauses for from the clients for ensuring that there's zero downtime of any of their production service.
That's
And
amazing.
the revenues that they had done was, I think, in millions. They said, you've assured this much amount without a single downtime, and hats off to you guys. So that's something that definitely plays an important role.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's true. And it is, I think, even since you mentioned about healing and predictive analysis of detecting bugs and all that, I think when I feel now what we've seen in the sci-fi movies that AI can or else can do something different and which is becoming real now. So we are able to identify things faster, we are able to predict, and we are able to deliver faster. I think that's where I think future is always here. So that is where I feel very
Absolutely,
interesting.
absolutely. See, when you say that AI in everything, you see AI in everything. You see generative AI capabilities being brought in. As we speak today, many of those would be in its nascent form. There's a lot more that it can get developed into. It can mature into a lot more space where you can look at a autonomous QA system where that's where the clients or the CXOs are looking at how can you bring GenAI capabilities into my application development? How do I take it faster? How do I make it quicker? There are so many ways to make it faster and quicker using the existing tools. And when GenAI comes in, what we are looking at, what we know for now is the tools, the capabilities are there, the agentic software is there, the LLMs are there. We are able to generate. You give the use case to that particular application or the platform that we have built. At least we have platforms like that which takes the requirements, it reads the requirements, it reads the acceptance criteria, and creates a plethora of test scenarios that can be covered with these use cases. Okay. And subsequently, it also, if you want it to be automated, there are specific tools, capabilities that are there. It automates and creates the skeleton script for you. Now, would that be all? May not be sufficient for execution. There is human intervention required currently. But can you speed up the process? Definitely yes, because we have seen that we have done a lot of POCs. Some of our customers have come to us and said, okay, can we do it together? We have done that. They've seen the results. They go ahead and say, okay, can we get this implemented? Again, I would say with a word of caution that, AI could be bringing in a lot of speed, bringing in a lot of productivity, but there has to be somebody to look at it for now until we get to that autonomous stage where everything is done. Even there, somebody has to mention that, the test data, the product catalogs, the even the entire master data that has to be set up and validate, the configurations that has to be done, the user level assessments that we need to do. All of these needs some human intervention at this point.
Absolutely, fairly. That is the right and indeed human interaction or human intelligence always need to be there to validate. Absolutely true. And again, let me just move on, and I would like to understand in e-commerce industry. See now in software, let's say automation first. These are certain jargons we always hear. What is your thought, and how is that helping you to speed up or reduce the cycle time actually, or how do you deliver faster?
Yeah. I mean, in the beginning, I said so the quality assurance, quality engineering, quality acceleration, and predictive intelligence and quality, right? So when we look at these aspects, the initial days we had that shift left where we said, okay, in sprint we start, we do this. Today, the shift left has probably vanished. We are saying we start left, and in the future, you'll be looking at how do you shift right. Okay, I'll tell you, what I think of this. Now, you were having the models in which quality engineering was run was more in terms of a federated model when you look at quality engineering or I mean, more from a quality assurance standpoint, from a quality engineering standpoint, it was a federated model that we run. And then we went in, brought in the operating models of how the work would flow, what would people do, how are the agile technologies that are going to be used. We had specialized quality engineers that come in. Today's or yesterday's world is what we just heard. In today's world, we are talking about quality acceleration. Now, how are we looking at the tooling? The what tools are we doing? What frameworks are we bringing? How do we bring the AI infusion into your testing? So all of these concepts when it comes, and again, I did call upon the chaos engineering, the performance testing, and all of that. So today's world, you would see many estates, the software developers in the development life cycle. So all of these are kind of being looked at as the quality acceleration points. Now they talk about a lot of app performance. We took at we look at how the holiday readiness is there. How do we reduce the cycle time? These are all the access points at this point in time. When we look at predictive quality, we are looking at insights driven. Okay, there's a lot of tools, at least the platforms that I use across my clients is more of a predictive intelligence that we can look at, and the predictive testing. Now there was risk-based testing. They were used to know that okay, these are the risks, so you need to focus on, or the historical data which says these modules are bound to fail, so we need to focus more of the regression test there and stuff like that. The world is changing now with a lot of data and intelligence available through the AI and the Gen AI capabilities that we are talking about. This predictive analysis becomes very clear in terms of when they build the code, they run this predictive software on that. It says, how do I look at what has changed in the code? What modules have changed? What are the impacted areas? Now, do I run my scenarios around this? I'm rushing for time. I don't have much time. I need to take this to the production as quickly as I can. So all of these points come in. Okay. And today we are also kind of engaging with the customer in an agile model where we talk to the customers, we talk to the business users, we do the product demos, look at it. So it's a continuous monitoring of the whole program and continuous feedback that comes in. So the agile way is more true agile. That's how we are going in.
Absolutely interesting. So I think I hear that bold statement that you are no more left tip, but we start left, right? So that is true. And even if I need to resonate to that thought process, with that, start left. So I think if a developer and the QA can start together with AI capability, for example, for writing test cases. So I would rather put it like this. Okay, maybe a test-driven development is right now very much possible for any organization because there is an AI capability that create use cases which any developer can write at any point of time, or they will be able to before they start to develop their code, they can understand in detail what is that they are going to build. So they can build a product right from the scratch itself. So that is what you said is true. You start left. Absolutely true. And again, when I had seen trends, I think you already mentioned there are left shift when there are right shifts. So, for example, now in terms of where you wanted to think about A/B testing and even canary testing, so there are feedback where you really wanted to get from customers also. Then we take right shift and look at what is the feedback we are getting it before making it to the larger audience. We do that canary in terms of maybe provide certain kind of features and get the feedback. And then, so there are combination of left and right happening, but in terms of any development process, we start left. And in terms of feedback, we also make sure we have the customer feedback loop that is from the right. So that is the kind of approach what we have it in common, which I have seen right now.
Yes, you are spot on. I would probably add one more topic onto this. Now, when we say we start left, as you rightly said, The TDD is one of the examples where you know what's the use case going to be. What are you going to test against? The developers need to know what they're going to run their test. As soon as they put the build, there will be code that can execute and say, okay, you're clear the criteria or not. The future where we are going to, where we are heading, when I talked about predictive quality and predictive intelligence, is more of analytics led insights. So we know what we are going to do, what's going to come up in there, and then develop accordingly. And you can probably go faster, is what it says. Now, again, it's in infancy stages where it moves there. It takes time because it's not that you know everybody can jump in and get into from a quality assurance. Some of the people or some of the projects or the quality processes that we have, they might still be at a level where you may not be able to even automate stuff because they have done the build. I mean, it's kind of available where you bring in a lot of pieces together, a lot of different pieces of code, all of that running your business. And when you go back and say, okay, well, I mean, I involve in the consulting assignments, right? So if I go in and say, okay, we will do this consulting assignment, we look at your scenarios, where are you with the market strategies? How do you do your current work? Where is it required? What changes are required? And when there is a transformation that's required, that's recommended, saying, okay, we'll transform this to there. One challenge I see from the folks who have been using these systems from age-old days, they have a resistance to change. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
because they don't want to adopt technologies, but because they are afraid something might break until that, I might lose some of my business. Some people might think they might lose jobs. AI is going to help you become more productive, more better. And as long as we
Absolutely.
understand that concept, we jump into that, we can now go ahead and do. Okay.
Spot on, spot on. Yes. Okay, so now I just wanted to hear from audience. So let's create a poll and understand what are the challenges audience is facing in terms of automation. So that let me just get our audience pulse. Can you have the poll, please? Okay, so can you publish the poll result? All right. Okay. Okay. So I think 1 second. So I think I'll give another. You can take 30 seconds to for cast your suggestions on the window what has been projected in Zoom. So I think earlier there was already one poll has come, and I think that would have given you information about the challenges in automation. And I would like to understand now what are the challenges you have it or else understanding automation browser? Which are the automation browsers? What do you guys normally do for your testing? Probably can give me an information about it. That will help me to take our discussion further. I'll just hold for 30 seconds for people to cast your suggestions. All right. Okay. Let me move on. Actually, I would like to share. So I think I wanted to connect further what Kimchi was sharing. So here, okay. So probably 1 second. One common thing which I observed while during discussions, there is a lot of fragmentation and tools available in market today. And for consolidating all this is a bigger challenge, or else a lot of effort. Either DevOps need to do it, or else the quality engineering need to do it. That is where the bigger challenges we normally see in industry. So what we thought, why not think about a solution that would be solving a problem of fragmentation? What is there, and we should. I think already Jimsy talked about cross-browser testing. Then, and if I could enable you to be in a platform and help you to scale and help you to expand your test coverage and give you visibility that you are doing good and your quality is coming good, and you would be able to deliver this on so and so date. If I am able to give you that information, including development, testing, covering and reducing the whole cycle time, including and having an AI platform below, which we talked about, that is integrated in visual testing, in test case creation, and even creating predictive analysis, and even for your looking and understanding what is the problem that is created and suggesting user this is due to this particular problem issue has come, and with a possibility to integrate with any possibility of what is your choice of integration. For example, now probably you might have framework, Selenium, Cypress, whatnot. So lot more playwright, all those things frameworks are available, and we give that freedom for any software developer or the QA to do that, and better integration to communicate that into your Jira or else to your Circle CI or any of the teams. And that is something actually we as an BrowserStack building for the community, what is fragmented right now in terms of tools. This is going to actually help our community solve things faster. And you once you are into the system, then you don't have to look for fragmentation. And we also have a SDK which is available. Once that is there, it would be able to help you to scale and lot more. So with that, actually, when I wanted to give you more information on what does this particular test plan platform can achieve for you. So if I think during our discussion, James, you also mentioned that we wanted to ship faster. Right? So how do you ship faster? Basically, a feature that is there, then that need to get shipped faster to the customer. So then definitely there is a lot of effort we would need to do it in terms of faster cycle time is what we need to achieve it. For that, we already discussed the fifth left. That is the best approach we can have it, and we can have a faster feedback loop. That is also we can have it. So to get this set right, there is a test infrastructure which is required. So that is what it is there. And that test infrastructure, if you have app automate, which can offer browser automation, and that even if I say that, that can be fully managed in your self-hosted cloud. So that possibility is also there. So then that we as such, we wanted to give a freedom to the user. Wherever your cloud infrastructure, you can even have your test execution happen there. That is one test infrastructure setup, which would definitely help most of the people to scale. Then coming to the devices, you would be able to use real devices on a fully managed cloud. So which is again going to be helpful. Now, if that all can integrate with AI, then I think there is a lot of time where you would be able to save and ship faster. And even all this activity, which I think Jimmy also highlighted, there's a lot of activity that happen. And if those can parallel get executed on all the devices, then it's going to be very easy for your developers and testers to finish your testing and ship faster. On top of it, one other challenge which I always see is you spend long time debugging issues. So there is another observability which is going to help the whole test analysis using your ML, and it tags what is the problem, and it looks at the flaky test cases, and it also allows you to rerun those particular test cases and give the visualization to the whole leadership and even to the testing team. So that's going to be massive in help what we could be able to see. Now, other area where right now which is evident in terms of test coverage, where we talked about we have functional test cases that cross-browser device testing, all those things happen, and then we have API, user acceptance, all those things are there. Here, actually, the lot interesting factors comes here. Here, with AI coming in, you would be able to scale. You will be able to expand, increase test coverages on all these particular possibilities. For example, now in organizations, accessibility testing is a bigger requirement nowadays for aspect of WCAG EDA. Now, if I say if if you are able to get a, VPAT report generated by providing a website, isn't that looking going to be amazing? So this particular feature is already there built in. Once you are with, when you have this particular accessibility feature available, a standalone, even as part of our particular platform also. Then we have additional visual. So I think in terms of other challenge which Jimsy was highlighting was in terms of validating. So if you include visual testing with AI capabilities, even validating, which even manual QA will not be able to identify. Even those kind of issues will be able to find in visual testing also. So and we also have performance evaluation that can be done on client side, on in terms of app or live app live. This particular feature is there. So these are things definitely going to help. And similarly, uh, if I say that your particular software is having this particular score, then you will get an understanding in terms of what is the quality that your developers are developing, and is that the right thing getting shipped. So what is expectation from a customer? All those can be tracked through a quality score, which will give you a visibility on what is the build failure rate, which also gives you in test coverage and test failure. All information should be in one particular place, which will also give you insight to say that you would be able to optimize the test cases. Isn't it amazing? And finally, this all going to bring in reduced cost. So, uh, so total cost of ownership for all these things is going to be reduced in terms of using toolchain. So that is one other big advantage we can take from this. And moving on, I think there is a deep discussion we had it on AI, right? So I think I would like to give it some deep insight. Uh, so from PRDs, from websites, from Jira stories, you can create test cases, which already Jimsy highlighted, that can be done. And even you can create test details. Everything can be done using AI. Plus, if I say your test cases which is written that can get automated using LCA, that is also made possible now. With BrowserStack AI in place, you have capability, test management have a capability to create test cases using AI capabilities. You don't have to spend any time on manually testing any as manually writing test cases. Test case authoring is, I would rather say that is zero right now. And a developer can do test-driven development from the beginning. That is a beauty which we are practicing in BrowserStack as of today. And when 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 your test cases can get automated using LCA, isn't it amazing? Isn't it going to give you return of investment of time? Definitely. So I think this is something you all, I would say, I would encourage when this capability you should be evaluating. This can help your organization to scale much faster and even reduce or increase your productivity. And so finally, that is what it will reduce the cycle time. So that is what we all aim forward, right? So I think that is something which we can look forward. All right. I think then maybe let me move on to the next set of Q&A. So is there anything, Jimmy, you wanted to add on?
So I think you covered. See, one of the key things that we're looking at is the various devices, how we can test. Now, I think you did speak about having one suite that runs, and you can test on multiple browsers or multiple devices. So that definitely helps with the increased speed at which you can test various scenarios that needs to be covered. Especially you have the devices, platforms, and forms. And since most of these applications are on cloud and there's no physical infrastructure, I definitely see a value in looking at the tools like BrowserStack, or there could be multiple competitions out there. But what these suite of tools are doing is it's enabling the tester or the test organization to look at and test multiple things. In the earlier days, it was more like looking at devices, specific areas for testing those devices. You need to procure the device or have that device in place or in hand. Today, with the cloud and tools like yours, there is a plethora of options of how to execute a test, and that's something that has helped the software testing industry in this current time and date.
Interesting, interesting. Yeah,
Okay.
true.
And
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 minimal, yeah.
today we are definitely looking at testing and the AI to help us with the kind of automation which comes with low code and no code. Okay. Now, how do we make the transition is more with the tools and the capabilities that are available. So if you have something in that space, maybe you can elaborate on that as well.
Absolutely. So I think what I will do today, since time is limited, I will post a link on this particular thing. So basically, test management, AI capable, which I talked about, and there is observability and low code. So all this particular thing I'll put in the chat room so that anybody can have a deep dive further into it. And there are more sessions actually going to come. So then, dedicated sessions on low code, no code will come. So please watch our post so you'll be able to get more insight on it. So that we will be covering in detail. Okay, so I would encourage audience to cast your questions or any clarification you would like to have it in Q&A channel. So we would like to continue with the Q&A.
Okay, there's a question that came in terms of the key strategies for holiday readiness. I think we did touch upon it. In terms of holiday readiness, you need to make sure that one, again, the infrastructure that you have, your servers that you need, the overall application performance that you monitor, the performance engineering, the chaos engineering are some of the things that needs to come in. And how do we handle those? Now, if you are running your performance engineering and making sure your application is available and stable, then the peak load or the traffic that comes in can be managed, can be maintained. And testing is always there. Now, we have clients where we have specific scenarios. Before the peak season kicks in, they need to do this whole test with 20% of the server space that is available. How does the application respond? And then they increase it to 50% of the actual server capacity that can be used. So there are different stages in which various organizations want to make sure and ensure that they do not lose even a single dollar during the peak season or the peak sale. That is where testing and the robust tools that we have. So most importantly, when we look at various patterns that we look at, the various trends and analysis that we see, we need to prepare for that. Now, again, as I said, we are not on physical infrastructure, we are on cloud infrastructure. So during the holiday season, you need to have a prediction of what kind of user load or traffic is going to hit your servers. What your solution analysts, that the architects can tell what is the capable size and capability of the particular servers that you need to maintain. So you spin dynamic servers on the cloud, use it during that season, and you spin it off so you don't pay much, right? So we need to use the technology that's available to make sure that we are not investing in dead investments, but we look at how do we use these cloud environments, how can we spin it up, get the test done, and then spin it off. And subsequently, in during production, you always have the cream of your servers available. So that's something that we can focus on.
Absolutely, absolutely. Truly said. Yeah. I think mantra is simple. Test like your customers depends on it because they really do. Whether it is retail app, e-commerce, app about, we have to make sure quality is not compromised. That's a simple mantra we all definitely need to.
Okay.
Okay, I think there is another question. Yeah. Go,
Yeah.
please, Henry. Yeah.
No, no. About can AI help in resolving the cart abandonment and structure? Maybe the answer there, at least in my point of view, you can differ with that answer if you think there's something different. What there is no one answer as a yes or a no. Now it can help depending on how we use the data and the analytics or the prediction behind that. Okay, to the personalized experiences that we look at. I spoke about the omni-channel experience, the personalized look and feel that we give. How do we retain the customers? I think that is more important. You might see customers adding some products to the cart which they may not intend to purchase that particular day or week. I, as an user, I might have, if I look at my online shopping, I will probably add a item to the cart and I say, okay, I'll buy this next week, but or next month. Before I forget, let it be in the cart or let it be in the save to list. So we do that. And subsequently, if we have the whole user experience taken care of and the product is really good, we have good reviews, how do you engage your customers to stay with the brand or stay with it? That's very important, especially if you look at some of the customers who are into the beauty segment or into the apparels or into the footwear or any of those areas of e-commerce that you look at. If the customer strikes a chord with the brand and the product, they are more likely to come back and make the purchases. But if they see that there is a lot of price fluctuation dropping in and somebody else is doing a competitive pricing, so your promotion management, the way you know you hit it on the head, hit the nail on the head to reap the benefits. So it has to be dynamic. It cannot be like, okay, I deployed this code and it's going to fetch me all through this week. Maybe there are different offers that come in. How do you spin those things? How do you bring those up? How do you manage your promotions, your sales cycles? All of that would branding, marketing, a lot of things. So it's not just one answer. Ajesh, over to you.
Absolutely. Aligned, absolutely aligned. Yes, yes, true. There is no deviations to what you said. Absolutely aligned. Okay, I think we have another question in terms of AI accuracy. So in terms of test case authoring, when we started, I think it was coming 63 earlier 6 months back, and now we are at 90%. 92% is the accuracy on test authoring. This is a big achievement in terms of AI that we can do it for quality community assets because it writes better code than a manual QA would write actually. You mean test cases because it is covering all corner cases. Only dependency is you need to have the right PID need to be in detail. So if the PID is written well, then you will get the best or the better in less than 2 minutes, and our target is to get it less than 10 seconds to provide the test case generated. So that is the target which we are working on. Okay,
Uh,
so I think yeah,
Ajesh, I would probably put my thought in there. Now, what you said is probably right, and it works in many instances. But again, I look at it this way: AI will help us bring in a lot of productivity. It makes us fast, and as the AI or the engines that run behind are maturing with more of these users data that it actually gathers. Now, what it does is today it may be able to speed up the things, but you definitely need somebody who can look at, are these the right scenarios? Edge cases, corner cases, it covers perfect.
absolutely.
But then when you look at the end-to-end flow, now I take a user journey, my AI might generate or Gen AI might create the test cases for that particular use case rather than looking at the entire flow. Now, the systems are maturing over a period of time. Subsequently, you'll have all of it, definitely. But then the suggestions are from the AI. The decisions need to be made by humans at this point in time. That is where we are.
Absolutely. You are right, Jimsi. I think even in practice also. we generate, and still there is a review that happens that has to be done by QA, and they ascertain and they mark, okay, this has been covering, and hence it has been taken. What you said is true. It has to be validated at this point of time, and I think that is where it is true. Absolutely. I think there is another question coming. How can a small and medium e-commerce business benefit from low code automation? Okay. Uh, it's going to impact help them a lot because you don't need to have an expertise on writing automation. Even a product manager can write automation. So that is the simplicity which is there. And even your manual QA can write automation. You don't need to learn any new code. So that is the simplicity which we are bringing. So it is going to help in small or bigger. That's going to really help. And even it have flexibility to add on framework. Even there is a lot more IDE level support. All those things are also coming in. So which is going to help. I mean, sector or small or big, that's not an impact. It is going to help.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah.
Ajish, again on the low code, no code. Uh, when especially when it's small companies, I would just leave it with this thought. Look at the ROI and then go for it. If you are in scale, you can definitely get the return on investment. But if it is just to be on that bandwagon and say I'm doing low code, no code, and if it is not giving ROI, there will be challenges. So always a consultant can definitely come in, look at it, and then say, how's things going to be? Is it good? Is it worth for me to invest? Maybe that's something that can be a cognitive a decision that can be taken. And then, as I just said, yes, it definitely has its benefits and advantages, which is undoubted. And looking at how we apply it is something that's very critical.
Absolutely, rightly said. Okay, since we have short of time, let me move on. And with that, I really wanted to thank Jimsi for your time and everyone for joining and listening to us. Hope you had takeaways what we committed earlier, and have a good evening and good night from whichever the world you are joining. So thank you everyone. Bye bye. Thanks Jimsi. Bye bye.
Thank you, Rajesh. It was my pleasure being here. So thanks again for patiently listening and being wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.